If we're really trying to do this, we need to be done with the Grammys and the Oscars and the Tonys. Throw the whole fucking EGOT away. Let's just stick to the Grammys for the purpose of this video. Living under this empire, there are very, very many self-fulfilling prophecies that appear to be real until you scratch the surface. Like, yes, the Grammys are celebrating some of the best and greatest artists that there have ever been. But are they actually the greatest, or is it just that they have been given the access and the time and the healthcare and the access to the best producers and directors and studios that the world has also ever seen? Also the exposure and the advertising and like the therapy and healthcare and like fucking personal trainers, like all of that. There is no doubt somebody with the potential to become one of the greatest artists we've ever seen, but they've died somewhere in Khan Yunis or in Sudan. The reason I call them the self-fulfilling prophecies of empire is just like other things in the world, right? It's like you put people in a bad neighborhood for generations where they have less education, and then a couple generations later, you say those people are uneducated. Well, yeah, now they are. And yes, when you take an artist and you big them up and you put their face everywhere and you give them access to all that great stuff, and of course they do the hard work and are talented, yes, then they are one of the best the world has ever seen. It's real, but it's also, in the end, kind of fake, just like the rest of our world. And here's the thing. Are the best, most unbought, most genuine, like people with the strongest moral and ethical compass going to make it? Of course not. They never will. Because all along the way, there are a million opportunities to sell out, right? Either intellectually or ethically or financially, or just being in a room with people you know are shitty, doing shitty things, and you're like, well, it's going to cost me my career if I say anything because they're really powerful, and so you go along to get along, and then you have been bought spiritually. Don't get me wrong, there are some artists who have made it with basically their souls intact, but even now they're still getting boycotted and black, like Roger Waters from Pink Floyd, like is still to this day losing money and like having shows canceled because of claims of supposed anti-Semitism because he stands against is fake. Furthermore, did you get to vote on the Grammys? And even if you had, would you have been able to vote from any artist in the world or from the ones that they think have a chance? By whose metric? Who gets to decide things? Some academy somewhere, some group of oligarchs. It is not ours. This is the literal pageantry of empire. If you think about how much money goes into the Grammys, how much excess we were looking at just in like the hair and makeup alone, in the wardrobe, right? And that's without even considering the air travel and just all of the millions of dollars that went into producing that event. All while around the world, with our money, people are dying every single day. I am literally an artist. I am a musician. I am a writer. I have been doing these things my whole life. I'm not saying that we should not be engaging with these things. In fact, I'm saying the contrary. People who are selling millions of records, they're not necessarily selling these millions of records because they are better than everyone else. We have been hacked, right? We all like to be part of a thing that seems huge, to be part of a big spectacle and share those experiences with each other. But we also are not very good at supporting those around us, at looking at the artists that you personally know and going, you know what, I'm going to give them my $20 instead of buying the t-shirt of some, million selling platinum artist. It's going to seem a strange metaphor, but bear with me. Before Timothy's World Coffee and then Starbucks took over the coffee scene, there were a bunch of, at least in New York City, there were a bunch of different individual little coffee shops. And, everyone was different. If you wanted that coffee shop, you had to go to that coffee shop. Then the power of advertising, and all of a sudden people just went to the new shiny thing. And that was happening all around the country and then all around the world at the same time. And we didn't all realize that we were selling out basically our local faves that we had been supporting and had been supporting us for years. Getting back to the Grammys, right? The artists who make it usually are essentially tied up, gagged, and bound on very short leashes if they even make it into that room. Mass market, big business, commercial pop music has basically become the circus without the bread. It is a vital part of the pageantry of empire, and it is part of what we need to divest from, look away from, and essentially render obsolete by just not participating. I firmly believe that if you talk to 20 different random people off the street, you should get 20 different answers as to who their favorite musical artist is. And honestly, if you really, really pushed people and you could get past the sort of programming that we have to think of like 5 or maybe 10 artists as the best of all time, you could have that conversation. If you need a reason, right now, any artist that hasn't spoken up, at least to the degree that like Annie Lennox did, about what's going on in the Middle East, they are complicit. They have the power to reach millions with a tweet, with an Instagram post, and they haven't. They are not using their tremendous, tremendous wealth and power and the reach that we have given them by supporting their art. Then they are not for us, and we have to divest from them. I'm not saying don't listen to them. I would never tell anyone what to listen to or not listen to. That is not how I roll. But how you support them is what's important. And more importantly, why aren't you supporting local people, people with less? Like an artist like Iniko. I hope they don't mind that I'm shouting them out, but like they seem like the clearest example that I've seen of an artist who just appeared and became popular because they just resonate with people to that degree. And there are lots of other artists like that out there who we chose. Because of social media being the way that it is now, because of self-publishing, we can go right to each other. If somebody earns 1 million followers, 2 million, 10 million, because people just like them that much, that's how it should be. To the work of change making, of revolution, or whatever you want to call it, it's in the mind and it's in the heart. I have a great many favorite famous artists, but now at this point, I am throwing my weight behind, my support behind, bigging up like the people who are coming up, people who I just see doing their thing. Art, music, culture, science, innovation, none of this belongs to the overculture. They've just captured it and then packaged it and sold it back to us. As we get free, we need to tell them, no, I'm good on yours. I've got my own. We have our own. So respectfully, fuck the Grammys.